Hello YouTube, and welcome to You Asked, I Answered. So in this episode, I'm going to be answering the question, how do I sit with negative emotions or with my emotions when I don't feel like it? And my answer for this is twofold. Number one, you're not going to feel like it. Okay? So right off the bat, we have to just kind of let go of this idea that we're ever going to get to a place in the beginning where we feel like sitting with our negative emotions. Okay? No one is going to feel like doing it. You're going to have an intellectual understanding that, okay, I'm curious at what these negative emotions are trying to tell me. Right? You've been watching these videos and I've been talking about how your negative emotions have answers for you, how your inner child has answers for you, how there's no bad part of you, there's no ego, there's no self-sabotage, there's nothing evil about you, that your emotions are trying to tell you something about yourself and about reality. And all of us have this shame around our negative emotions and shame around pain, that it means there's something wrong with me. It means there's something bad about me. I'm doing something wrong, I am fundamentally flawed, and I'm fundamentally unworthy of love. Because all of us were rejected in our childhoods when we were in pain. So this is why we feel so resistant to being with our emotions. Because to us, having a negative emotion means being in a dark place, means being rejected. So we need to just understand that from a physiological point of view, your nervous system does not want you to sit with your negative emotions because it doesn't want you to be having negative emotions, because its experience of negative emotions is being rejected or abandoned or rescued, right? Your negative emotions were an emergency to your parents, and that was communicated to you. So we all have this resistance to feeling these things because they are built in to our nervous system as being, this is how love goes away. And remembering that when love goes away from our parents, when our parents abandon us, when our parents reject us, and when our parents rescue us, we get the message that we're not safe and we're not going to be provided for, and therefore we're going to die. So even having a negative emotion, which is a reaction to reality being out of alignment, is then going to cause a nervous system trigger on top of that, that now I'm having a negative emotion, and that's a panic, and that's a threat to my survival. So we have these layers going on with our negative emotions that are not just I'm experiencing a negative emotion and it's just a pure experience. We have all this trauma around negative emotion that double it up. So this is why my suggestion for how to start to sit with negative emotions is this. Number one, make a consistent practice of it, because you're not going to feel like it. So you're going to commit to 5 to 10 minutes every single day to just sit and feel what you're feeling in your body and what you're feeling in your emotions. And your mind is going to come up with all sorts of stories and all sorts of labels, anxiety, depression, and it's because of this, and it's because of this. You're going to have all these stories. That's all going to happen. Okay? And what I'm suggesting is that you're going to take 5 to 10 minutes. You're going to notice your stories, and then you're just going to settle in to feeling what you're feeling. So you're going to describe feelings rather than emotions or stories. So a feeling is heat, buzzing, heaviness, lightness, pressure. That's what a feeling is. So when you're going to sit, you're going to be in your body, you're going to take a couple of deep breaths, you're going to go into your body, you're going to feel what you're feeling, and then like I said, you're going to notice your mind saying, this is anxiety, this is depression, this is pain because of what I ate, and you're going to have a what you think you need to do about it. Why this is happening, you're going to have all these stories. You're going to notice all of that, and then you're going to take another couple of deep breaths, and then you're going to focus on just naming the feeling and where you feel it in your body. Pressure in my chest. Tightness in my gut. Buzzing in my jaw. You're just going to be with the feeling without the stories. You're going to thank your mind for telling you the stories, and you're going to let them go to just be in the feeling. And you're just going to practice being with feeling for 5 to 10 minutes. And then, this is the most important part of this. After that 5 to 10 minutes, you promise yourself that you are allowed to engage in any behavior you want to engage in that turns it off. Okay, this is hugely important. You must have the escape hatch of I'm just going to be with the feeling for this very specific period of time, for this very specific way, just to feel what it feels like and describe the feeling and where it is in my body, and that's it. I'm just going to connect with the feeling. I'm going to notice the stories. I'm going to connect with the feeling. I'm going to notice the stories. I'm going to connect with the feeling. I'm not trying to figure it out right now. I'm just going to be with it. And then when that's over, I have an escape. I can turn it off. I'm not trapped in this negative emotion. Again, because without that, all you're going to be doing is triggering your nervous system even more into trauma and fear and, oh my gosh, I'm trapped in this negative emotion, which makes love go away. So you're not even going to be able to be with your emotion. You're not going to be able to be with your feelings. You're never going to be able to get the message from what the actual feeling underlying the anxiety of death is, because all you're going to be feeling now is the anxiety of death. That this feeling is happening, I can't get away from it, this is what got me rejected, and I'm going to die now. So we must have the escape, whatever that is. Netflix, sex, binge, whatever it is for you. Do not judge yourself. And I know this is radical. That when we give ourselves the permission to have the out, that I'm allowed to do whatever I need to do, I'm not taking my coping mechanism away from myself. I know that's scary. But this is the key to being able to actually process your emotions. You need to feel safe to feel your emotions. And the way you're going to feel safe is by giving yourself permission to escape it. Okay? So again, set aside 5 to 10 minutes every single day. It's a new commitment you're making because you're not going to feel like it. Second thing, practicing feeling your feelings. What does it feel like? Where is it in my body? What does it feel like? Where is it in my body? I'm noticing my stories, what I think it's about, what I need to do about it, all these things. That's all fine. And then just grounding back into what is the feeling and what does it feel like? And where is it? Just getting curious about the feeling. This is how we let go of the stories we're telling ourselves and what we think it already is. Because if you already knew what the emotion was telling you, if you already knew what the feeling was telling you, you would be doing something about it. You clearly don't actually know. So we need to let go of the stories. And we let go by just being curious about how it feels. And then after that 10 minutes, we are allowed to do whatever we want to turn it off. And you're going to notice that as you practice this over time, you're going to start to have awarenesses that you never had before. You're going to start to get ideas from your feeling that you've never had before. You're going to start to get messages, downloads, whatever you want to call it, that are going to amplify your awareness to things that you had no idea about before. This practice works over time. As you make feeling safe, you will start to get the messages from your feelings. So you can even take 5 minutes after you're done your feeling process to just free write, to just journal, to let your mind unload whatever it was, or go do something physical to process it. But this is how we do it. It's getting in contact with your feelings and knowing what the message they're trying to give you, and your emotions, and knowing what the message they're trying to give you is not a one and done thing. It's a process that happens over time as we train our nervous system that this is safe. Okay, so this is how we do it. Make it a practice, 5 or 10 minutes, feel the feelings, escape hatch, so your nervous system feels safe. Over and over and over again. This is what we do. All right? So If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave those down below, but give it a try for 30 days. See what happens when you put this process to work. What happens when you just feel for 30 days? All right? I hope that helps. I hope that's practical, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah.